Alright, welcome back to Kamen Review, episode 224. We are here reviewing episodes of Kamen Rider Double, 43 to 46, along with the movie that the series had. Yes, known as A to Z. Yeah, it's Kamen Rider W, Kamen Rider W, or Double, Forever, A to Z / the Gaia Memories of Fate. Yes. By the way, 43 and 44 kind of laid the groundwork for this movie. So, in the case of 43 and 44, we get basically a little bit forward here where look at basically the so in this two-parter, 43 and 44, we have this particular, Depbot here, who, the thing with him is that, let's see if I get this right here. Yeah. So, the whole thing of this one is like, he turns people old. And the first person turns old is a 10-year-old girl. I'm sure it looks awkward on screen, looking like an old lady calling a younger woman her mama. Yes, it looks very awkward, to say the least. But, of course, it's probably an old lady actress, but she's probably dubbed over by the child actress. And the same thing with the friend, which there's a spat. The whole thing about this two-parter is develop hatred, and basically, kind of in a way, end Shroud's involvement in the series at this point. Yeah, this two-parter is her conclusion to her arc, which the whole thing is basically trying to build up toward the very next two episodes. Though, yes, there is the movie between, but pretty much that's what these two episodes are. They lay the groundwork for the next two episodes, which, fine, of course, they do beat the Dead Pod, ever turn back normal, and then, of course, we also have this scene here where we have one of the members, Foundation X, having a briefcase with 12 Gaia memory sticks, and it's revealed these is a new generation of them, developed by them, referred to as T2 generation sticks, T2 memories, and there are 26 of them. And in the movie, they're pretty much the same ones we have in the show. Yeah. And then, of course, we lead into the movie, which was chronologically came up between 43 and 44, and the beginning of 45. 45 is, I kid you not, this is something interesting about 45. 45 begins right after, it's like, if you watch the show, you gotta watch this movie to understand exactly, because they do reference this movie at the start of episode 45, because what happened in the movie, I'll get to that. But it's like this movie is definitely necessary to watch. Yes. It is. Some movies, they might be skippable, maybe watching later. No, in the case of this one, you have to watch this one at this point. Because the movie opens up this great camera work. Yeah, this movie's got great camera work. I got praise about this one. So, we have this helicopter shot. Helicopter in the air with this very wonky looking CGI plane, and then we have this guy who basically storms into this helicopter to take these memory sticks. Well, he takes one and becomes Kamen Rider Eternal, this white looking form for him with golden eyes. Yeah, and he's the first in a while there's been Evil Rider. I don't know exactly when there's been Evil Rider, of course, but it's Evil Kamen Rider. So, and then now, by the way, these groups are known as Never. Yes, Never. And of course, they're comprised of Eternal, his name is Daito Katsumi. Yes. One thing I gotta know about some of these actors, they look a bit old. like they look a bit older than they should be. It just how the camera portrays them. I always thought that was kind of weird. So the actor who plays the lead villain in the movie is a singer by the name of Matsuro Masoka. And apparently he's the vocalist of the band Sophia. And he basically is the guy who performed music for the show, which, fine. Apparently he was also commented for in the 4D video special Kamen 4. So aside from appearing in this show, there is of course a movie that basically explains the whole backstory, which I'll get to after the show wraps up. But he appears also reprises as Eternal in Zio, which I'll get to in the future. But mostly put, he's the guy who, if you're really curious, now is this the guy who sings the opening song for the show? No, it's somebody else. But he does do anything with this movie. He does. So as for the other members of, we have the Heat Depot, which of course they got the Heat. Well, this lady here is Rika Hananara. And I saw in the movie, I thought this was actually Jasmine from Deca Ranger. Nope, it's a complete different actress. It just the face looks so similar. It's like unless you do a little research, you probably can never tell these two are two completely different women. It's just how the camera portrays them. It's very similar to the actress played Jazz, who did pop up on the show for a couple episodes, and she was a Depot. This actually looks so similar to her, but it's not her. No. The actress who plays her is Manisa Yasro. And she had pretty much not done very much in Toku. Not really. Well, aside appearing in this movie, she did, of course, appear in another movie. And she had, prior to this, actually after this, she had basically popped up in Zyuohger. And for a couple episodes. And she popped up in Zio as a different character. But there's not much to her, per se. Yeah, basically her whole thing in, like, Zio is that she plays some unnamed reporter. Yeah, who pops up for one episode of Zyuohger, and that's it. But the actress herself is currently, I would say next month she's turning 41, so I think at the time when she did this movie, she must have been, like, 25. It just... Yeah, I think it could become a mistake that people could mistake her for that other actress because like I said, the face looks so similar. But just look it up and you see what I'm talking about, because I thought this was her. It was not. The other ones. The Lunar Depot. Oh boy, this guy is insane. His name is Katsuya Izumi, who is in love with the lead villain. Yes. First it was Kata-chan. And it's always, he's obsessed with him. Yes. Which, this might be like the first known gay character ever in Kamen Rider that I know of. So the organization is called Never. It stands for Necro-Overs because all of the members are technically dead later on in the movie. Yes. So, Katsuya Izumi is played by an actor by the name of Genki Sudo, who looks like he was in Japan dramas. Apparently he was in Rurouni Kenshin. Yeah. So, nothing much to the guy per se. There's the Metal Depot, his character name is Gonzo Dantamo, and he basically is a guy who uses a spear. Yes. Well, he's like a bow staff. He's played by Koji Nakamura. I highly doubt he's related to Shinsuke Nakamura. It just basically just the same last name. So, aside appearing in this movie and the Spin movie, he's out a little bit. He apparently did pop up in a couple episodes of Forze after this. And he also appeared in Revice. Yes, he appeared in Kamen Rider Revice in a spin-off movie. And then there's the Trigger Depot. Yes, the Trigger Depot. Who's played by... The character name is Ken Ashawara. He's played by Masoki Dell, who is known for playing Boken Silver. Yep, this is actor. Just different hair color, but yeah, it's him. So we have also we do see briefly Nasuwa Dippo who actually are just not the same people. Well, yeah, because it's not the same people. It's like Nasuwa is just some random guy. The White Dippo is not Isuka because he's dead. They do know the fact that the original guy who was Weather, he is long since deceased. And this is some unnamed guy. And apparently during the course of this, where a couple of the allies, one of those Weatherman and Santa-chan, become violent and Ice Age Dipbots. Of course, they basically become this because they just randomly find memories because apparently that Eternal has decided to set up a scavenger hunt across the city. Later on, they put up a $1 billion bounty. People who bring these memory sticks. So, and then of course, Heat, which when Shotaro sees this, which apparently it seems like he's very much attached to her. He basically is, like throughout the whole movie, like anytime these two interact, like prior to what happened in the movie, like the 2 times they did part of this, it's like he's constantly flirting with her. Probably because he finds her very pretty, which, yeah, there's no doubt in the fact she's very pretty. And also apparently when she's wearing like the short shirt and the short shorts, it's like she's supposed to be like the Japanese cosplay for Tomb Raider, just with a different color shirt. Yeah. So, they at one point, she ends up at his office and they start a fight. I'm like, how the heck did she find the office? She's not even from Futo. And the Luna one is interesting. Of course, when she gets hers, she decides to do something that another character did, just pull the shirt open and just stick the thing right there. Lunar, for some weird reason, puts his in his freaking forehead, which I thought that was really weird. And the metal one, he has his go into his spine. Yeah, he just takes off his jacket and the thing goes right into his freaking spine. I'm like, damn. And he transforms into metal, and just by sheer coincidence, all of these particular memories are the same ones that Double has. Yes, just by sheer coincidence. Oh yeah, and there's a Cyclone one, which for some reason, the photo for that one looks very incomplete. It's like this, yeah, and it's kind of weird who is the Cyclone one. So, at one point you have Double fighting almost all of these ones. Like he's fighting, at one point, he's fighting Heat, Lunar, Metal, and Trigger. Yeah. I think the Trigger one, his, I think, was actually in his arm. Yes, they put his in his arm. Metal was actually his back. Lunar was actually his head. And apparently it seems like he was enjoying having the stick go into his head. I thought this is weird. It was one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen. So, then because it turned out being around Double, his memories the memory sticks get disabled along with Excel's. As a matter of fact, the Excel one they have looks exactly like the one that Ryuji has. Like, the same exact design. I'm like, did they just make these sticks based on the ones that Double and Excel have and just made duplicates of these damn things because they look exactly like them? So, at one point, Philip is... There's also supposedly his agent who's working with them. Like, and she reveals all the way never. And then Philip goes to see her at a hotel. And she's wearing a nightie. At one point, she pulls a gun at him. And when he first sees her, she thought he was her mother. Like, his mother. Shroud, which she's not in the movie. You're like, really? Yeah. Oh, by the way, the actors who played Maria, they have as Maria S. Canterbury. Yeah. The actress currently is 57 right now. So I would say by the time she did this movie, she was, believe it or not, 42. Yes. But aside from doing this role, she's also known for being playing Queen Beryl in Pretty Guardians Sailor Moon, which I think was the live action series. Yeah, she played her in the live action series. Now, if people was 42, it's almost like the way, like, I'm sure the actress is Japanese, but the way her appearance is, I mean, I'm looking at her here, it's almost like you can mistake her almost being Hispanic. Based on her face looks. Yes, because I've met people who are Hispanic do kind of look like this. So, people probably, now, a lot of the other actors definitely are Japanese. But this woman here kind of looks like maybe she has some Hispanic descent in her blood, because she kind of looks like she's Hispanic just because she's Japanese. That's how I look at it. I'm not trying to come as offense to people. It just is how I look at it when I see it visually on my screen. So, and the some attachment Philip has to her, and then he transforms and then she leaves and becomes Cyclone. Yes, and then it's revealed that the person who created all these people to be monsters was her, because she wanted to bring back her dead son, who turns to be the leader of Never. And, by the way, the main villains of Double, they do nothing. They sit in the sidelines. They just watch the whole time. They don't interact with anybody, per se. They just witness the stuff, because I think the creators of this movie must have realized, though, yeah, they're not the villains of the movie, but they probably had to include them because it has been the continuity of the show, and they didn't want to disrupt the continuity of the show at all, so that's the reason why I did that. So, then, of course, the Never said the base operations in the Futo Tower, and, of course, they find all the rest of the memories, and, yeah. And then, of course, Philip is forced to wear a Never outfit for somewhere. He's coerced to wear this outfit because his situation is very similar to that of the leader. Yeah, by the way, Maria's real name. Her real name is Maria Dado. Apparently, she did work for the based on the way they describe her. It's like this woman probably was supposed to be Shroud, but then they had to change it. Because they describe, woman who used to be, I've heard it was that woman who used to work for the museum, but she quit, whatever. Yeah, it's like, this one was supposed to be Shroud, but then they had to change it. This is how the dialogue presents it. Because it presents it so misleading. And then, of course, they had the base operation up there. And then, of course, Shotaro figures out how to transfer without Philip. And then, thanks to seeing a ghost of Kamen's skull, who's been dead since Movie Wars 2010, all of a sudden there's a henshin device with one slot in it. And then he just happens to find the Joker memory stick. Not the same one he has, the one from T2. And puts it in and becomes Kamen Joker. Which, first time he's assumed this form since Movie Wars 2010. He would assume it actually once in the show, which I'll get to that in the next video. So he battles her and supposedly beats her, and then she dies in his arms. It's almost like they kind of set up to be sort of a potential love interest for Totoro, but then she dies. Probably making the first one interested in him like this since his childhood friend from episode 1 of the show. Then, of course, they have this really... And, of course, then, thanks to Philip disabling Eternal's ability to disable their memory stuff, and they would transform, have a really good fight with him. Excel transforms too, battles the other ones, and breaks their memory, and just defeats them. And eventually, then Eternal's like, well, I'm going to basically blow up this tower by using this Giga memory, this Giga impact thing, which they use in the show too. They mention that there too. So then he nearly destroys the tower. And of course, the tower is just the spin thing is knocked off. But then, of course, Turner was defeated. At one point, it's like he's nearly degrading thanks to his mother giving him way to die. But look up, he had a cure. Somehow he had a cure for that. and become normal again. Then he eventually does die, and Maria herself dies too. And then there's a post-credit scene of a woman putting on bandages. Now this is Shroud, but it's almost like at this point, what is the point of Shroud? Even because her role in the show was completely wrapped up by episode 44, and she's in 45, 46 as just she is there. She doesn't contribute anything at all. Like, and the whole thing is basically this is where we finally have doubles confrontation with Terror Depa, who was Philip's father. And first, basically, they're hired by this woman working museum because her patron is actually the museum director, who is Philip's father. Of course, she does not know the fact Philip is actually the director's son. But by the end of this 2 parts, she never finds out. Never does. She probably does know that Sonika and Wanaka are basically his daughters. She does not know that Philip is his son. And what's something interesting about Philip in this 2-parter that comes completely out of the blue, that kind of feels very last minute, because, well, the whole thing is he wants to read his book, and then he turns down first, then he eventually reads it, and I'll get back to that. So, then, of course, they come out at the museum, went to a fight outside, and delays him for a bit. And then it's revealed by Wakana that Philip died 12 years prior to the show. And the person sitting in front of them is an avatar. And you're like, what? So he's dead? Yeah, this comes completely out of the blue. And then he has to force to cooperate with the whole family. And of course, Shroud is invited this one last family dinner. Sonoko is invited, despite the fact she has nothing to do with her father at all. She wants nothing with him because of how much of a dick he is. So Shroud shows up, has to prepare for her, doesn't eat it. Probably because basically she realizes her estranged husband probably wants to kill her for daring to leave him. Yes, I'm sure about that, so she doesn't eat. Philip doesn't eat. Now, does Terror eat? Oh yeah, he eats. Wakana eats a little bit. Songo eats nothing. And then this leads to Philip basically, it's revealed that Philip, he actually sort of died by falling into the well that is the foundation which Wakana looked into. Like, there's no hint the fact he died at any point in the series. This feels like a last minute thing. They just had to do this because the show is about to wrap up with episode 49. They revealed this episode 45. They revealed this little cliffhanger thing about him being dead. That's when they revealed this. And then Philip was pushed in by his own father to basically be a data converter for his sister, which he has to extreme. And then, of course, he doesn't realize, though, that this devil's tail, which was taken last episode, was in fact a brush. A paintbrush that he refers to as Devil's Tail, writes his family's names on it. I'm like, that's Devil's Tail? Really? A paintbrush, which was used to wipe up stuff for archaeologists because he was an archaeologist. And by the way, the only reason he looks rich is because he's financed by Foundation X. That's the only reason why that's happening. And then, of course, apparently this whole thing, a lot of this is basically planned by Shroud, aka Philip's mom, Vuza. So, basically, so like his memory being inside of there, then of course Shotaro overcomes the fear, like he's a member of the Green Lantern Corps, puts Joker in, and eventually gets Cyclone in the double, eventually becomes Extreme, thanks to the Extreme receiving his memory data from the well, and then of course, by the way, Excel gets injured in episode 45. Here he basically has managed to get around perfectly fine. This is maybe injured, and he's able to fight terrors, whatever his thing is, and then Double beats him. Yep, beats kind of in the way the main villain of the show. And then he just, by the way, when it gets ruined, the mansion is set ablaze, and he dies. Wakana presumably dies too. They don't confirm her death. In the case of Well, in the case of Rosero, that's the guy's name. It's like I would say based on this and the fact that Mansion was falling apart, in fact, the fact that the building exploded, it's presumed he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Shroud probably already left the mansion at this point, and Sonoko basically wins from a distance. She basically wanted nothing to do with this at all. And, well, and then you have, by the way, also this whole thing in the movie where there's a minor subplot where Ayako she's had a thing the whole time for you, and they kind of, in a way, kind of become a couple officially in the movie, and there's hints of it in these next couple episodes. But, yeah. In a way, you think, like, at this point, oh, the show's over, like, the main villain is gone. But no, we have 3 more to go. Like, even though the museum is gone, we still have Foundation X. A group that was set up back in episode 37 of the show, and now we're going to have them fight them in the well, they're going to deal with them in the next few episodes of the show. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay, next video. Bye.